Alright, hey everyone. Finally figured out why my camera glitches out when I first start my stream, so I'm glad I got that fixed. Hope everyone's doing good. First scan, hey, hope you're doing good. Um, let's see what's up with my DMs. These are both for the initial value problem that I did last time. This is the reduction of order one that I had to struggle through, but I eventually got there. Wait, which one came first? 227, 359. Okay, so let's read this one first. Oh wait, did I say C sub 1? Oops, I said C sub 1. My name in Reddit, it's the same as my stream name, Don Does Math. Superposition. I remember Paul's note saying that's, or like the website that I took this from had a section on superposition or something like that. I feel like I've seen that word. I can explain why. Um, we have to do a linear combination of the two solutions. But I'd like to address the superposition thing specifically if I can. I just don't know. I feel like I've seen superposition somewhere here. Is it? Look at basic concepts. Hey, Jed. Oh, principal superposition. Okay. There we go. That's where I saw it. Okay, so I made a typo with the C sub 1 that they caught. In regards to the question with C sub 1 being repeated, that was a typo on my end. You want a really nice and hard question? Skin, let me. I'd rather look online for homework problems, but if I can't find any, I'll look at that. But I'd rather have people who are working on their homework first. Yeah, thanks. Website, but I linked calls it the principle of superposition, although it wasn't how I was taught. Basically, if y sub 1 and y sub 2 are solutions individually, then any linear combination of them will also work, which you could verify by differentiating and plugging. Hey, Plazante. Yeah, it's a math day. How's it going? I mean, this is, I'm explaining this way too much. This isn't even the most important question that they asked. It should be, or apologies, it should be but yes, I wasn't taught it this way, but I have seen it called the principle of superposition. Fine, just got home. Nice, nice. Okay. So that addresses their first question. Or I guess their second question, really, because this post up here was posted first. Regards to your other question with y of t equals y sub 1 of t v of t, I would be careful with the notation here. I hope I didn't make another typo on this. No, I did say y sub 2. Um, at least the way I was taught, y of t is the most general form of the solution and has the form y of t. Shoot. I mean, should I really just... Yeah, sure. Um, I'd rather say that y sub 2 of t, or say that y sub 2 of t equals y sub 1 of t times some other function v of t by assumption. Okay. If y sub 2 of t is a solution, we can differentiate it, or it's not as simple as differentiating. I should be more direct in answering that question. It's not as simple as differentiating v of t on its own. We have to differentiate y sub 2 of t, since that's the ACE solution to the differential equation, not v of t on its own. Y sub 2 of t, which involves v of t. Okay. We use this technique because we will, or, well, I mean, because we will always end up with a differential equation in the form b double prime, there's my apostrophe key, plus, I guess I'll say p of t. Actually, how do they say with p and q up here? Okay, yeah. Do I have a job? No, unless you want to count streaming, but that's not very much income. I am unemployed right now. I used to be a tutor um, in like an actual tutoring center. And I've also tutored a lot of friends like informally. But currently I'm unemployed and just like living off savings and seeing if this goes anywhere in the meantime. Solve for v easier than the initial differential equation with y's, or with y. Okay. I think that's enough of an answer. I think I addressed everything that they're asking about. I hope I have. Okay, so that was a question I worked on 2 days ago. This is I solved this differential equation with initial values, and given one of the solutions, you have to find the other solution and combine them into the general form. I should actually edit my post to fix that C sub 2. The notation for constants. Save. Okay. This question was a fun one, though. It took me a long time to figure out how to do it, but I got there in the end. All right, let's look for new questions. Going into calculus without trig sounds like a horrible idea. I just want to see what this post is about. I don't normally answer these types of questions, but I wonder what situation they're in where they're able to skip trig for calculus. Okay, I actually do kind of want to answer this one. So I feel like I have something that I can add here with to just look over this website's trig section and see how much they recognize. I'm also a shill for Paul's online notes because I like it a lot. If they want to sponsor me, I would gladly take it. um, yeah, okay, it goes with the unit circle. I think when I took it in high school, I want to say it was one semester trig, one semester pre-calc. I think. It definitely was not a part of algebra and geometry. It was after those two classes. Well, I mean, they changed it in my state after I graduated, but the way that I did it, it's you did algebra 1, geometry, algebra 2, and then I think in 1 year, algebra and, I'm sorry, trig and pre-calc. I think. Or you could try and, or you only need up to algebra 2, and then you could try and go into stats if you wanted, or something like that. But I think it was smashed into 1 year. hard for strangers on the internet to firmly tell you yes or no. I mean, that's too much. I don't want. I can't tell this person for sure yes or no because I don't know them, and even if I did know them, it wouldn't be easy. If I mean, how should I? Your friend studied for the SAT and he studied trig too. You need trig for the SAT? I don't even remember. I mean, when I took it, I think it was a lot more like logic math, and it actually wasn't that heavy on like the algebra and stuff like that. I think I don't know. What are you studying at a pre-calc as a subject? That's a good question. I remember at the end we were just getting into like basically limits, but they called it the end behavior of functions rather than using the word limits. Before that, uh, it probably was just equation solving with like more advanced, like, cubic functions and things like that. Whereas algebra 2, you'd only go as far as parabolas. Trig is a part of functions. Maybe, honestly, I don't remember that well. Hard to answer this question for you, but it may help if you look over this website section on trig and see how much of it you recognize. I generally would not recommend taking calculus without knowledge of trig because calculus can get very heavy, or calculus can very heavily rely on trig knowledge. And oh, that's really repetitive. I can phrase this better, can't I? Because many calculus problems require being comfortable with trig. Maybe I want to like make this part of the sentence stronger, but I think it's okay. A quick learner and very motivated, you might be able to learn the trig as you go, but it would be difficult. It would make it how about this? It would make a difficult class even harder. Because calculus is hard enough on its own without having to learn trig at the same time. Make sure, especially, that you feel comfortable using the unit circle and solving trig equations. I think those are two most important things. I mean, that's kind of like most everything in trig. I guess there's also like graphing, like the graphs of the trig functions, but I think that's also important in calculus too. But at least I feel like that part is easier to learn. Solving trig equations and like knowing how to use the identities. use identities. Okay. Make sure my link works. Good. Using trig to prove the first perfect limit. Oh, I don't know if that has a name. I've never heard of a name for sin x over x. Oh, it's one of these. I'm not doing that. I never had to do that in a calculus class. But yeah, no, sorry, I remember my class did cover it. I don't think we actually proved it though. I've looked at the proofs semi recently, and I kind of recall it where you like basically squeeze it between two other functions, or like you relate it to just y equals x because they approximate each other or something like that. Yeah, my classes never went that deep on sin x over x. Oh, okay. This is that same. It's that like very common exponent question of why something to the 0 equals 1. Which let's give the explanation that Jed likes because it makes sense to me too. It's not something you like. Each way I found to think about it is by yeah. Um, 2 cubed. Oh, so 2 cubed equals 8. Going from 2 cubed equals 8, 2 squared equals 4, 2 to the 1 equals 2. Each time we go down one exponent, we divide by 2. If we went down another exponent, 0, we should divide by 2 again to keep the pattern. So 2 to the 0 equals 1. This also works if we keep on subtracting 1, because 2 to the minus 1 equals 1/2. So we've divided by 2 again. Similarly, 2 to the minus 2 equals 1/4, and so on, constantly dividing by 2. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense to the person. It's also you don't really, yeah, like oh, the cookie thing is back. Okay. Um, 2 policemen. Oh, like that's an interesting like way to phrase it. I assume like the policemen are like guiding, like the same way like policemen are like direct traffic, or I guess like people. You like you have the two like there's like a smaller triangle and a bigger triangle that squeeze. the sine x over x into one like lane, like a policeman would, I guess. What's up with this? This function isn't defined for x equals 1. Me, I like two policemen walking a criminal. Oh, okay. That makes sense too. This is only valid when x is between -1 and 1? This is the geometric series. Just think of x as r. Oh. I feel like I've seen it used for like way different values of x though. I want to look up a proof of that. For 1 over 1 minus x. Oh, I mean 1 over 1 plus x works too. Um, okay, yeah, this is my exact question here. Radius of convergence. All right, well, I mean, I guess we can say, oh, two cops and a drunk? I'm interested to see this explanation for it. Oh, okay. It's just a funny way of explaining the squeeze theorem. So the red squiggle line in the middle is the drunk like wobbling around, and the two blue lines are the policemen trying to like hem the drunk into the cell. Prove that something equals 1? Oh my god. It must be sine x over x. That's cool. Um, one comma one. is meaningless. Would diverge. Including one. I don't really understand this part. Like, the Taylor polynomial of this with x equals 1, like, this function isn't defined for x equals 1, so I hope this is just saying that it's kind of meaningless to do that is all that needs to be said, but I guess we'll see if they put a question back. Um, this one's actually had a lot of. Oh, this is learn math. Oops, I meant to start. I usually start with math help. That's what I thought I was on. I was wondering why there's so many posts on it. Let's see what this one is. Show step by step how you got. Well, I'm not going to do that. Find the unknown side length of the variable in the given pair of similar triangles. Oh, what? You can just equate the proportions of these, can't you? Oh wait, they're actually. I don't remember if you need to do the entire length, or I think you can actually do either the entire length or just the segments. There's actually a theorem saying that they both should get the same result. I think. You know, let's try that. So I'm absolutely not going to give this person the answer because they didn't post their attempt and all that good stuff. But I am curious to see what the answer is going to be, and then we can give them a hint at least. I'm going to see if the green marker is working out. Okay. So far, so good with green. 8, 10, 20x. Certainly not drawn to scale. So I think the way that like what comes more naturally to me with this, with similar triangles, is to compare this small triangle with the entire big triangle, meaning you would set up x over 20 is equal to the entire length, 8 plus x, over the entire hypotenuse, 30. And then solve this for x. I think it would also be valid if you did x over 20 equals 8 over 10, which is what I want to try after this, though. So cross multiply 30x equals 20 times 8 is 160 plus 20x, x equals 16. Right. So and it seems like it's going to be in proportion. So let's try the same thing over here. Oops. No, wait, that is right. X over 20 equals 8 over 10. 10x equals 160. Hey, yeah, it is the exact same. Okay. Browser, dang it. Thankfully, it was only a little bit that was being covered up. I'm working on it, Jed. It's really hard to get channel point redeems to play sounds, but it is something I want to get done by this weekend if I can. I was going to try and do it last weekend, but I got distracted. Um, okay, so that was easy enough for part 2. For part 3, photograph on a triangular piece of land On a photograph of a triangular piece of land, the lengths are 8, 9, and 12, respectively. The length of the longest side of land is actually 100 meters long. Okay. So this is like a scaling problem, I guess. Let's draw a lopsided triangle. The longest side is 12, 9, and 8. And then this is the scale in the photograph. The real land, the longest side is 100 instead of 12. If I call the shortest side x and the middle side y, wait, these are similar triangles, so everything will be in proportion again. So I'll say x over 100 is equal to 8 over 12. X equals 800 divided by 12. Does that go in evenly? I'm not doing that mentally. 50? Did I see that pop up for a second? No, it's 200 over 3. Okay. That's kind of an annoying number, isn't it? And then for y over 100 is 9 over 12. So that now we have, why didn't I do it the other way around? Do what the other way around? Oh, like 112 and x and 8? I think it would be the same. It's just the way that came naturally to me, honestly. Figured out the ratio 100 to 12. Yeah, I mean, that works too. That's what I was honestly thinking, but I thought, like, doing it this way, I have a lower chance of messing something up. 75. Crappy 5, but who cares? Okay. Anyway. We won't give step-by-step solutions without you posting an attempt. But to help get you started, I mean, should I say we? That sounds kind of like I'm speaking for everyone else. I say I won't give a step-by-step solution without you posting an attempt. But to help you get started on this problem, are you familiar with similar triangles? Math is fun. The sides of the triangles are in proportion with each other, and you can use that to figure out the required sides. Okay. That's all I'm going to give them, because they basically gave us nothing, so besides the actual quote question. Let's go over to math help. Actually, erase this too. Oh no, there isn't too much on the subreddit. That subreddit's been slowing down, unfortunately. See what this is. Oh, they already have a an answer. Seeing need an answer in problem-solving format. What have you done so far? Yeah, I mean, they should give us something more. See what this is? Walk me through steps on how to do any of this. Or not. I mean, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Wait, stop it. What are you doing? I'll try loading again. If not, or if it gives another error, I'm just gonna move on. Or students drop off their smartphones at a testing center. One day's cruel joke, the testing center staff member decides to return the phones to their owners completely at random. That's just kind of mean. How many phones were returned to the correct student? Create a way to simulate a random assignment of 4 phones to 4 students. I mean, ooh, this feels like something that would be class specific for how you should answer a question like that. I mean, would you just use a random number generator, like 1 through 4? I guess you could. Combine the results. Where where does this come from for number 3? Oh, I guess you use the 5 trials you did up there. If you got 1 match, you would put 1 for the frequency there. Okay. Okay, this actually isn't too bad, I don't think. It might still be specific to how it's taught in the class for how exactly you should answer the first and maybe the last questions, but we can like qualify that. Uh, Specific format slash information required to answer the first and last questions. But here are answers slash starting points that make sense to me. So this person, they didn't post their attempt, but their problem, they did at least say their problem is that they've been sick the past few weeks and I guess I've been missing class and not able to get help elsewhere, so I'll give them a bit more help than I might usually for someone who doesn't post an attempt. Actually, I think Reddit's gonna make it into like a list unless I do that. I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that. Let's see what happens with this slash, and I'll edit it out if I'm doing something wrong. So create a way to simulate a random assignment of 4 phones to 4 students. This seems to just be asking how to simulate the above situation. I think something simple as well, let me not say it's like, I think something like creating a table for, I think something like giving a number to each student, 1 to 4. Then using a random number generator, give a distribution that matches a description. It could be, which what I'm saying basically is just a uniform distribution. That's one of the things where I think it could depend on their professor for like what they actually should be answering to go down the list of students. Student 1, we generate a random number. Next to them, you generate a random number 1 to 4. And track which phone they get. So one for each student. You get a repeat number. Generate again until you don't. Hey, eat the Tway Pie. How's it going? This is oh, we had the same question. It's going good for me though. There's been a good volume of questions today. A uniform distribution. If you learn that. Not bad. That's not bad. Mean to give a specific realization of a distribution, not a distribution itself, as I understand. Just finishing the first third of the semester. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, Placente. God, I can't talk. But the first question is just create a way to simulate a random assignment of 4 phones to 4 students. And so I'm thinking more like practical. Oh yeah, midterms. Oh, midterms. So I'm thinking of this more as a practical way to do a simulation, because then they actually have to do the simulation. Drawing out of a hat? Oh, I mean, that would work too. I just said to, I mean, basically, I was just thinking just use a random number generator like website, but drawing out of a hat would be easier because you don't get repeats. There's other ways you could do this too, like drawing numbers out of a hat. That is a good thing to throw in though, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine if you just generate again until you don't get a repeat, but that can be a pain. I guess you could take, I mean, I don't know if there's a website that'll do it easily for you. You could take like, you know, the numbers 1 to 4 and scramble them to avoid repeats, but that seems like a lot of work. For part 2, they need to actually execute their simulation. For this, you need to actually do your simulation 5 different times. In total, the number of times these students happen to get their correct phone back. Three. To create a frequency table, use the table from part 2. The frequency is just the number of times you got a given result. So if from your simulations you got no correct matches twice, you would write a 2 there. Or I guess I'll say 0 to make it more obvious. In the relative frequency row, we'll do the number above divided by number of trials. So for the example I gave, you do 2 divided by 5 equals 0.4. Okay. And then for part 4, what is your empirical estimate of the probability that all 4 students... Wait. What is your empirical estimate of the probability of all 4 students getting the correct phones? In that case, you just take the relative frequency from 4. The empirical estimate means the number you got from your simulations. Since all students getting their phones back means there were 4 matches, or means, wait, let me remove the since. All students getting their phone back means you should use the 4 matches column from the frequency table. The relative frequency is your estimate of the probability. That as your answer. Okay. There's more that I could explain, but this is already very long. So maybe I'll just leave it at this, and if they reply back, I'll handle it then. Oh, my slashes did not work how I hoped they would. What if I just get rid of them? Is Reddit gonna mess up the formatting? That's not. Okay, it did make it into a list, but that wasn't that bad. So sometimes it gets confused where, like, if you end a sentence with a number, like with that 2 period, it'll think that's part of the list. Thankfully, it didn't this time. Okay. Solve x squared minus a squared times I squared plus b squared greater than or equal to 0. A and b are positive integers. Does it depend on A and B? Maybe it doesn't. It has to be... The only way this will be negative is when x squared is less than a squared. Oh. So wouldn't it be true for x squared greater than or equal to a squared? This feels a bit weird, but I guess it's just x squared is greater than a squared. Without even having to do actual math. That's like thinking about it, I guess. Solve a, x minus b greater than 0. If they're all positive, okay. That second one is interesting. Because if you have a cubic function, okay, what? I want to draw this out. Because we need to think about the general shape of a cubic here. Interesting, the right word? It's probably not. For most people, for me, it's interesting. If we have the cubic, I mean, I'm a general cubic function with 3 distinct roots that are all positive looks like this. And since the roots are put in order, we have B, C, and D. A doesn't actually matter as long as it's positive, and it is positive. Don't hate you. Oh, well, that ship has long sailed. Great, now he's just doodling. I have to look busy, you know? Okay, so, first we draw a smiley face, and then you draw a really nice tree, and then you have the sun over here, and that means the answer is 3. You're right, you did already tell me A was positive. Okay. For any cubic with 3 distinct roots like this, the two parts of the graph that are greater than 0 are this right here between B and C, and this here when we're greater than D. So the solution is B is less than X is less than C, and X greater than D. I think it's as simple as that. Scan the markers up because they're constantly drying out on me. Okay. Why does California have 2 headed bears? Well, that's because if you've ever played Fallout New Vegas, you would know that's actually here, let me just grab it. Oh, it's cut off by the whiteboard. It's the new California Republic, which is from Fallout New Vegas. So it's the California flag, but futuristic nuked reformed California government. Also, we just have 2-headed bears running around like eating children. But what can you do about it? Okay. Poor children? Yeah, it happens. Um Do the different like parts of the UK have their own flags too? Like Scotland and Wales, do they have their own flags? It's like like each state has its own flag. I don't know if that's weird or not. Yes, they do. Okay. And I was like, states also have like the state flower, the state animal. I don't know what the point is, but it's there. X squared, A squared, and B squared are always positive numbers. The Union Jack is a mix of all UK territories apart from Wales. Oh, that's some disrespect right there. You guys got really boned with that. I still don't get how it's like you guys are like technically like separate countries, but you're really not. Like, just pick a lane. Um, the only way for the entire thing to be negative is where we have subtraction with x squared minus a squared. And that only becomes negative when x squared is less than a squared. Square root of each side, and you get, ooh, is it that simple? Or can you say x squared less than a squared? We're a territory of England when it was made. Oh, okay. You guys weren't really a part of England. Well, okay, you know what? I guess that's like, America has Puerto Rico as a territory, but we only have 50 stars on our flag, I guess. That's what? Why did my Excuse me? Oh, my phone died. So I use my phone as my camera and I just noticed that it's out of batteries. Always making about my That's what I get for Exactly. The instant I started talking about how stupid Great Britain is, or the UK, well, whatever, it's all the same. My phone runs out of juice. I need to get I need to get an actual camera at some point. It just doesn't make sense for me to get it yet. I could just have my phone like plugged into the. Actually, no, I can't. So I only have one USB-C port. I have to figure out a way to charge my phone. USA and Canada are the same. You're the same. Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna roll without a cam, and then I'm gonna. I don't know. I'll switch. Maybe I'll play some Phasmophobia or something. I don't know. I'm just gonna write this answer and then stop doing the math. I thought my phone. I haven't even streamed for 2 hours. Oh, I forgot to charge my phone last night. That's why. Don't start with you. You won't return my wife. Keep her. Um. You don't want to keep her? Oh, too bad. Shittiest blow up doll ever. Hey, that's my wife you're talking about. It was helpful for me to draw a generic cubic function with roots at x equals b, c, and d. Sorry for the disrespect. You should be sorry. Two regions where the function will be positive, which will give you the answer. If it helps to get an actual graph, you could make up a simple case with A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and D equals 4. Okay, there. Mrs. Math, you apologize. Mrs. Does Math, excuse you. This person posted 2 minutes before me. Ugh. Oh well, my answer stands.